but I certainly want to compliment you for putting this event together. Now, this is not an easy thing to do. You had to put this.
I don't think anybody who hasn't done it realizes how much work is involved. My assistant here, Marina, is bearing a heavy burden. So, you know, hundreds of invites go out, hundreds of inquiries to sponsors, a lot of organizational stuff, bids for every kind of event. I mean, I have a long experience of putting events on and producing and organizing movie events, so it's not very different from any other activity, whether it's a political event or a movie thing, but it still involves a lot of work. Particularly, it's our first time out, so we start with a very, very small, tiny development budget. Thankfully, Triple B has been very gracious. The Shotgun Sporting Parks, where we're having the event, has been very gracious about covering that until the sponsorships and the shooters fees come in and all of that. The key thing that we really want to do is provide really good value in food, really good value in the Shotgun Sporting Clays event and experience for people, the gifting suite. We want it to be a really rock solid thing. So if we don't do it twice a year, spring and fall, we'll at least do it annually. I don't think, the thing is, you mentioned about people not standing up for what they do here. We really want to create a climate where somebody who likes shooting can feel comfortable saying that in Hollywood, which they have not been. There are a lot more people who shoot here, high and low, particularly a lot of the production people, but they've not felt comfortable to do so. So I thought a first step was to get us out there and make sure that people could say, yeah, you know, I really love doing this, and I really love the Second Amendment. And you know what? I'm tied in with the eco-green movement as well. So no, you're absolutely right about that. But just before we get into that event, I think it's important here to point out, Patrick, that this event is really to raise funds for the City of Hope. And I wanted to know, and I know a lot of the viewers are going to want to know, is what your connection is here and how that happened to be part of the program. Well, you know, you might not know, but I've done some raising of money for veterans groups. There is already a Shoot for the Troops, August 21st, and I participated in that. So we wanted to sponsor a charity marquee that was divergent with that. I didn't want to step on Shoot for the Troops, despite the fact I'm very disposed towards veterans causes and know some great ones. But so we wanted something that had to do with children, as well as was a local charity. City of Hope is actually located very close to the shooting range. The people at the shooting range had a connection to them. Karen Purvis, who is one of our event producers and publicists, had experience with them, so it was an easy fit. Since that time, we've been put in contact with people that swear that this program has saved their lives over a period of time, people who've had leukemia and all of that. So I'm really glad to do that. I'd had a connection with Bone Marrow Registry before, having done that, so we were happy to get the Bone Marrow Registry mobile out there so the celebrities and the shooters, as they choose, can register for bone marrow transplants. So it kind of worked all around. Billy Barsotti and Bruce out at the range knew the charity, Karen knew the charity, and I had some experience with bone marrow transplants. My dad actually died of bone marrow cancer. So
well, that would be the connection. Yeah, that would be the connection. And I just want to thank you again. I know a lot of people out there are probably very humbled at the fact that you have chosen that particular City of Hope to do that bone marrow program. I know there's going to be a lot of people very emotional over that. I understand that they will be there as well, and that you will have an opportunity of learning more about the program at this shoot. Is that correct? Yes, we will have a cadre of people, perhaps taking the form of a team, but at least briefly speaking about people who've been positively impacted by the program, their lives virtually saved.
Again, the bone marrow mobile unit will be there to register people so that they can go into the registry and contribute later on with a bone marrow transplant if they're a match. And there'll be a speaker from City of Hope there as well. So we'll really have some people who it saved their lives.
Yeah,
so,
I think this is going to be a great program. I think this will be the biggest celebrity shoot that's probably been done, and certainly we want to congratulate you for putting it together. But let me just run through some of the stars that I don't think a lot of people know that Colin Farrell is going to be there. James Woods. I mean, these are some of the people that we see in the movies, and certainly they've all had guns in their hands from one time to another. But for them to step forward, you know, we're in fact surprised by the fact that you were able to put something like this together. Dominika Wolski, Cedric Yarborough, Michael Rooker, who I've seen a number of times. Yeah, Ron Perlman, there he is right there. Let's see, who else? We have some more photos, I think. Yeah, Joe Montega. Now, we see him from time to time. Let's see, I think, Julian McMahon, I believe, and Jesse Camacho. Hey, yeah, you've put together some stars there that we don't normally see on a field shooting, and it had to be a little bit challenging, I would think. I mean, I'm kind of guessing because you're the man behind the scenes there, but I think for you to contact them and tell them to become involved here and come on out and shoot with us for a good cause, you know, that's, you know, what else can I say except that you've put a lot of work into this, and I think people need to attend. You're never going to see the opportunity of some of these people actually participating in a shooting event, and you also may have the opportunity of shooting with them.
Yeah, well, you know, again, I kind of take what the universe provides in a certain way, but I've been acting with all these people, and many, many more than that, for over 25 years, have relationships with them. Now, don't get me wrong, they don't do what I ask them. They occasionally do what I cajole them to do and all of that. The plain fact is, if there was anybody who was in a position to connect with them, plus I've been cultivating them and their agents through our film company. So we're in ongoing communication with either them personally or their reps for Uncommon Dialogue Films. So it was just a natural segue to, in fact, I think for some offers for a film that we're doing with Colin Farrell, we also just sent over the invitation. I know Colin real well. And most of these people, I work out with Ron Perlman and all of that. Joe Montana is a stalwart. He's a high-up actor, but he's also one of the guys who's always been there. And in fact, we're going to give him an award for his support of shooting. There's a couple of other guys there who are there pretty regularly. I really wanted the sport to be enthused with as much new blood as it possibly could for the political reasons and also just for the life of the sport. So we're working really hard on all of that. We've sent invitations to at least the top 200 stars. A lot of these people I run into, Jesse Camacho, again, I call it the beauty list, and Layla Milani, who's is a deal and no deal girl and a wonderful entrepreneur and an absolute stunning beauty. We've got a couple of international models. We want all the people that were at the Ojai NRA shoot have been invited. Michael Rooker is actually, we taught him how to shoot. We had a thing a couple of years ago called the Uncommon Dialogue Films Entertainment Conservation Summit, where we brought outdoor sports people together with writers, directors, actors up at a Turk Station Lodge for really the beginnings of this kind of dialogue. So Michael fell in love with shooting and has been and a great guy. I've had the fortunate opportunity to work with him many, many times over my career. He's always the good guy and gets paid more, and I'm always the bad guy and I get a cheap funeral. But he's a good buddy and a shooter, almost a stalwart.
Yeah.